Hi, everybody. Welcome to Katie in the Morning. I'm Katie Page, Director of Member Relations at the National Association of Healthcare Assistants. April is National Occupational Therapy Month. Occupational therapists are part of a team when it comes to rehab to home program. You have occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy that all work together to get our residents back up to the point where they can go home and take care of themselves, or their loved ones can take care of them at a comfortable level. I wanted to talk to you guys today about some things that we can do to help them kind of ease through those steps and get back to home in a safe way, and kind of help the pain levels in there as well. I was a restorative aide when I worked in Iowa for about 3.5 years, and our therapy department was just bumping. I mean, we had people in there playing kickball and doing their maintenance programs and range of motion and laying on the table. And it wasn't a table; it was a mat that pulled out from the wall and sat down, so it turned into a bed. But they'd be there stretching out their muscles, that sort of thing, and it was just a blast. We had the radio cranked up with the Beach Boys going, and if you were in that place, the therapy department was the place to be. It was Party City from 6 a.m. till 4 p.m. But that's me reminiscing. Back to the point. So occupational therapy, they work with the kind of fine-tuned skills, cooking, cleaning, that sort of thing, the hand-eye coordination, and also muscle relaxation. One of the biggest things that we can do to help our therapy department out when it comes to rehabbing to home our residents is implementing that Walk to Dine program. Walk to Dine program doesn't necessarily have to be they get up and they walk to their meal, but you can do that any time of day. If they're coming back from an activity, just kind of stop and say, "Hey, George, I got a couple of minutes. Would you like to stand up and walk down the hallway?" And make sure that you're documenting those feet and those minutes, however it is that you're documenting in your facility, to take credit for what you're doing. The more active they are, the more they're doing and practicing these skills, the better off they're going to be. Don't be afraid to ask your physical therapy department questions, especially the occupational therapists come in and say, "Hey, I'm on 200 Hall today. I know you have 3 residents down there on your program. What would you like me to implement to help you out? Or how do you want me to document what we're doing?" Or ask them like their limitations. How'd so-and-so do yesterday? Was he complaining of pain? Is there anything that I can do to help relax him? One of the things that you're going to want to do is, CNAs in our course, we're taught how to do range of motion. That's something that you can do at night. Either have them do it or help them do it to kind of stretch those muscles out so they're not so achy in the morning when they wake up. It is really, it doesn't seem like a lot of work to us, but if they're coming in after a surgery, like knee surgery, we'll take, for example. If they're coming into the facility in a rehab to home program after a knee surgery, they're going to have a lot of pain in there. And as they're working those muscles and getting everything to kind of fall into place where it's supposed to be, the muscles around your knee are going to get awful sore too. So stretching it and kind of letting those muscles relax is a big part of the recovery process. It's not just the physical therapy part and the actual exercises that they're doing, but everything surrounding that. When they're on a therapy program, when it comes to person-centered care, everything else about that day should be circled around the therapy program. If they're scheduled to go in to do their exercises or meet with the occupational therapist, ask your therapist, "Do you want me to give them their pain meds 30 minutes in advance?" Of course, don't do that outside of their schedule, but definitely talk to your DON, your administrator, your MDS coordinator, and let them know, "Hey, this person's scheduled at this time, and this time for therapy. It makes more sense to me to schedule those meds around that time period so that they're comfortable while they're doing their exercises and for the 3 to 4 hours afterwards," depending on what kind of med they're on, of course. Tylenol probably won't last as long as morphine or something like that. Another thing to kind of think about is like the activities program, dining program, when they're going to bed. All of that stuff should circle around their therapy program because that is the main focus of why they're there. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you guys a few experiences that I've had rehabbing to home. As CNAs, we constantly remember that the people that we've had contact with in the nursing home. A lot of us even keep like little memorials, obituaries, that sort of thing from the residents that pass away. But have you ever tried to keep count of the people that came in and then went successfully back to home to continue living their lives as they did before? I have. When I was in rehab, 154 in 2 years. 154 people came into our facility, got better, and went home. That in itself could change the way that some people look at long-term care facilities. And it's not just a standard where you come to die, it's where you come to live until you pass away, or you come to live until you can go back home as a temporary thing. So some of my experiences with rehab to home programs, there was this lady. She came in, she's 94 years old, had been living independently in her house for, I think her husband passed away like 21 or 27 years before she came to us. And the reason she came in is because Iowa, we're well known for our ice and our snow. Well, she went out there, 90 some years old, trying to scoop snow and slipped on the ice and fractured her hip. So she came in, and I cannot tell you guys what a positive, like, glowing person she was. Even like the stuff that she'd been through in her lifetime, being in the condition that she was in, I mean, all bruised up, the broken hip, just everything. She just had this personality and this spirit about her. And she ended up being like our leader in our physical therapy room, where she'd come in and she's like singing the Daisy Daisy song. I don't know if you guys know that one. And she'd be up there on the new step doing her thing and like telling, get it girl, as other people are doing their exercises. And she ended up going home and then ended up coming back as a volunteer to run bingo night at the facility afterwards. So that's just like a more positive experience that you'll have as you're going through and getting these people back home where they should be, with their family, and being able to take care of themselves. But on the other side of things, as CNAs, we are the eyes and ears for the therapy program. So when things aren't working out well, or you're noticing this person is in a lot of pain at night, you need to be reporting that, not just to your nurse, but to the physical therapist and the occupational therapist and the speech therapist as well. Speech therapy in particular, if you start to notice like swallowing problems or people eating less or complaining of pain in their mouth, that's something that needs to be taken care of by the speech therapist, kind of getting an evaluation done to see where that person is compared to where they were 2 months ago. It can really help in the long run when it comes to keeping that person physically fit and getting the nutrition that they need on a daily basis. When it comes, you're going to see occupational therapy a lot when it comes to like immobilizing braces, cast, that sort of thing. So if you notice anything off, if they're starting to contract and the brace isn't fitting right, if they're having red and warm areas anywhere where it's rubbing, that's things that occupational therapy will take care of and do interventions for. Some of the interventions I can think of off the top of my head, with the immobilizing braces especially, you get those reddened areas at the top and at the knee. They oftentimes put what's called sheepskin or sheep wool in there to kind of put a barrier between the brace and the skin to keep that from forming. There's other things that they can implement as well. There's like the gel pads, the Roku cushions, positioning in the wheelchair is a big one that occupational therapy will have a lot to do with. If that person's starting to get sores on their bottom or it's rubbing in any area, occupational therapy can implement interventions for that as well. Just make sure you're staying the eyes and ears and encouraging your residents to do and be the best that they can be in the time that you have them there. I will let you guys go for now, and I will see you next time on Katie in the Morning.